Sick. Let's see how long it lasts. Might be my little HDMI to USB capture card is pooping out. Like 20 bucks on Amazon, so I guess kind of understandable. Oh. Alright, I'm gonna build these 3 guys. That's the plan anyway. I'm gonna put some gloves on and do this guy first. Just feel kind of sweaty, and that was this material I feel like kind of matte, so you can kind of pick up hand oils if you're not careful. All right, let's grab the tools. Got a nice little box of tools here, especially for this. Call it my process kit. It just has the tools in it for this step. They're not allowed to be taken out of the box by anyone ever. But sometimes it happens. I thought there was only one screw in there holding it on, but there's all 4. Oh, heck yeah. I've been wondering about my extended warranty. Could definitely use it. Okay, circuit board time. In a special little ESD bag, all pre-programmed. Did it. I wasn't expecting the extended warranty joke, I'm gonna be honest. Definitely took me by surprise. All right. I usually have a little vise here that I use to hold the circuit board vertical, but it's in the garage and I'm feeling lazy, so let's see how this goes without it. Get some of these. Car's extended warranty. It's a pretty hilarious. What is the most unexpected extended warranty scenario possible, I wonder? Like, you make first contact with aliens and we can't understand a word they say, and scientists like you got jokes, that's funny. I mean, it is a vice. It's a bad vice though. It's fun but bad. Yeah, to have some aliens fucking, we finally translate their language and the first thing they ask is about our car's extended warranty. Okay, so I gotta put together my little guy here. Put some more light on it. So that's the clamping motor mount. So I'm gonna have to put that in there, and then I can assemble this whole thing. An alien ghost. Yeah, I guess. I don't know how you would differentiate between an alien ghost and a human ghost. I feel like you'd have to get a real good look at it. And that's the whole thing with ghosts, right? Maybe they're all alien ghosts. Maybe there's no human ghosts. I can see that. Also, I feel like if you Google alien ghosts, it's definitely a thing. This is the internet. I bet you would have a hard time coming up with a conspiracy theory so ridiculous that it's never been thought of. Internet's a big place. People are bored. All right, there we go. Got our motor in there. Out. Yeah, challenge. Do it. I bet you can't. Watching Oompaville lately, and he has been exposing me to some new conspiracy theories that are too wild to even imagine. I'm particularly fond of the Bigfoot ones. I didn't realize that the Bigfoot conspiracy theories that were that the Bigfoot were like hunting us. That was a new aspect to it for me. I don't know why. That makes me like it more for some reason. The idea that there's just a bunch of big apes out there, boring. The idea that we're being hunted by them, I'm listening. Yeah. I mean, I don't think they had white flour back then, so the cracker he was holding was probably brown too. Right? I mean, modern flour is white because they bleach it. I don't know. I don't know a lot about flour. Just speculation. Yeah, that's a silly one to me. Very silly one. I don't know. I feel like a lot of cultures that are Christian just make Jesus look like them. Like from 21 Jump Street was the first time I learned about Korean Jesus, and he's just like hella fully Korean. That's amazing to me. Okay, we're gonna take a shot and see if we can get this thing to fit in there. I like the one that Jesus was an extraterrestrial. Just like an extraterrestrial hippie. That'd be sick. Right. Thank you for reminding me. Yes. Yeah, I suppose. Now I'm wondering how do you even define a conspiracy theory? Like, that just sounds like a pretty rational explanation for something that's kind of baffling. I mean, not that rational, but as rational as any other explanations I've heard. But I suppose in those circles that would be considered a conspiracy theory, so you're correct. You win this round. I'm gonna just leave that out. I have not heard that. But the final test is if you Google it, does it show up? It's the real test. And then if you do Google it, please let me know what the AI summary says about it. I think I'm gonna have to take off one glove here. Oh, there goes my printer. Just had a print come off. Are you Googling it? Okay. Yeah, I bet. I bet it doesn't. All right, I gotta add a power switch, a power jack, and an encoder. Let's do the encoder first. That's not an encoder, that's Here's the power switch. They're kind of neat. They're LED lit, and I had to kind of rewire the back of them. See that? Is that in focus? Maybe not. Anyway, they're very satisfying. Here, I'll make a sound and then click it. Yeah, good stuff. And then it lights up blue. Way better than the old switches we used to use. They were like a rocker switch and they were super clunky. Not my favorite. All right. There's some power jacks. Here's how we get them. Neat. Oh no, this is not that. Nope, not that at all. This is if you have the patience to stick around until this is assembled in a couple of minutes, you shall see. It is what I call a strobe dock, and I spin these on them. They're like 3D printed sculptures that are like flowers, designed with the math of spirals. Hey, Imagination Fabrication, I like your name. And then there's a strobe light. So this circuit board has a bunch of LEDs in it, 2 concentric rings of LEDs, and then that little black sensor there, which is an infrared sender and receiver, and then all this stuff. And so it spins the sculpture really fast, and then like at 900 RPM, and then hits it with a strobe light. This is printed out of opaque plastic, so this won't work. This is for a new overhead lit variant that I'm designing. But example of one that they're printing out of translucent plastic, and so the light comes from within and then creates a animation of like using the persistence of vision illusion, and it makes it look like it's infinitely cascading. It's really, really cool. And so I've been making them, and I do design stuff and fun things. And so I recently just set up my streaming stuff so that I could just kind of stream it while I do it, because I thought it would be cool to not just do this alone in my workshop like a little hermit. Okay. The real test is when I have to put the power jack in and see if that interferes with this circuit board. There's one orientation that this circuit board can go in that it doesn't interfere with stuff inside. It's real tight for space in there. You do your own thing, man. I'm not gonna yuck anybody's yums. That ain't how we roll around here. Now it's just like figured people like kind of techie stuff. Am I in focus? No. People like kind of techie stuff and chatting. I like making, you know, I mean, like, I consider myself part of the maker community and stuff like that. So yeah, it's good. It's important to be able to entertain yourself. Imagination fabrication. What is what in reference to? Okay, there we go. Got the power button in. Now we can. Cool. Heck yeah. What's it called? A conditional extrovert. Is that something you resonate with? I've heard that term and I feel very similar. It's sometimes I can be extroverted in social situations if all of the stars align, but for the most part, I'm not on that level. I'm glad that you can do it through chat though. I think it's really important to be able to find the kind of areas that you feel like you can be yourself and then hang out there, rather than trying to just like force yourself to be somebody in an environment where you don't feel yourself. It's awesome. I don't think enough people go to the effort to do that. All right. So I'm assembling this this thing right here, and the way this works is the motor is in this mount piece, and I'm just realizing how unfortunate it is that I designed everything in black plastic for streaming, and this mount piece is clamped to the top of the assembly with springs and then like nylon washers, so when you push it, it like can kind of like sink down into it a little bit. There's a little bit of springiness, and that does two things. When somebody like snaps a sculpture on here really aggressively, and that's the whole point of this. This is a DVD motor, so you can like snap different sculptures onto it, and I have a bunch of different sculpture designs. Like I've seen little kids just like ram it onto there, and it kind of hurt my soul. So now it kind of gives out of the way a little bit. And then the other reason is it dampens vibrations, so when it's spinning real fast, it like doesn't walk off the table. Just kind of walk its way right off. Enough to get you. What is the line? Once you get to 180, you're gonna see some real shit. Just barely enough to get you to 180. Flux capacitor. Reminds me of those funny like infomercials where it's like an engineer saying a bunch of crazy fake technical jargon. Have you seen those? You're like, the confabulator diametrites at 150. Yeah. Do you have seen it? I love those. Those are great. Absolute classic. It was from like the 70s or the 60s or something too, which is crazy that they were doing the proto memes. That was a proto meme. That's what I like to call it. Memes from before the internet or in the infancy of the internet, which is, you know, I've seen a couple proto memes in their early days. I was there, the dawn. What should you 3D print? That's a very leading question. Do you have a 3D printer? What kind of stuff do you like? There's a lot of cool stuff. If you like models, like do you do gaming? You can do cool game pieces. I've seen a lot of cool stuff like that. You have multicolor. Imagination fabrication. So I just recently came across a really cool design by a guy, and it is a magnet injection tool or a magnet insertion tool. Oh, okay. So it's more like on the fun to design and oh yeah, that's a good reason not to. That'll definitely give you feelings about electricity. You should search Google for magnet insertion tool if you want to do like a cool tool build. It's like a handheld applicator that I printed and assembled the other day, and it worked first try, and it's good for putting print and place magnets into parts, and it's super satisfying. It's the coolest thing, and it worked first try when I printed it and assembled it. Other cool stuff to print. I don't even know. I'd have to check my Thingiverse folder of stuff I want to print. A helmet's a good one. I feel like a lot of people do helmets. I recently saw a guy who made a I don't know if he open sourced it. It was a superstructure around his jaw that amplified a beak motion. I have two Prusa i3 MKS Plus Mark III S Pluses. So I would print it, but you got to get the 3D model of it first. That's always the trick. That's the tricky part. And I don't have a 3D scanner, so hasn't happened yet. And I don't trust myself to model it in CAD because I probably embellish the dimensions. If we're being real, definitely take the curve out. Definitely take the curve out. Okay. Let's see if this all fits. Okay, I have to put one more thing in. But yeah, maybe if you searched for mouth, like 3D printed mechanical beak. Hold on, I missed your last thing. I'm not seeing your last message on the multi chat, but yeah, you should check it out. The beak is dope. It like amplifies his jaw movement, and if you could imagine a plague mask, that when you open it, the beak opens like at a ratio of 3-to-1 with your jaw opening. It was really cool. It was kind of like those it reminded me of that project. Yeah, if you have an iPhone Pro series, you can definitely get decent quality results. I've also heard that if you use the front scanner, the front facing structured light scanner gives you better results because it's higher resolution, but I don't know if that's true. If anyone knows, that would be sick. So what you could essentially do is get two iPhones, only one has to be a Pro, and the scanner iPhone, you do a 3D printed mount. Yeah, okay. And you would like turn it so that the screen was facing the object you're scanning, and then you do like a screen share, I don't know what it's called in the Apple ecosystem, with your like cheaper, maybe a tablet even, and you could like build a handheld mount that kind of sandwich them together, and you could get like a really good 3D scanner with two Apple devices. I kind of wanted to do that for a while, but I feel like I haven't had a project that really needed it, like really needed it yet. Where's my light flickering? That's usually how I justify spending money on new tools and stuff, is like I kind of reach a point in a project where I absolutely need that thing to progress, and then I'm like, all right, I'll buy it. That's how I bought my Shapeoko Pro CNC. It's like a 4-foot by 4-foot CNC machine. It's in my garage and it was pretty pricey, and I definitely only use it like once a month, but at the time I absolutely needed it. So, all right, guess we're buying it. I have no idea, probably 5. I've only streamed like 5 times now. I wanted to really get my setup decent so that it didn't feel like bad quality. The main part being the audio. Demure smart people words. That's not true. You're enjoying. What did you made a interesting conspiracy theory conjecture? I think you are. Give yourself more credit, man. Or lady. Okay, I'm just looking for power words. Clever, not smart. I don't know. Everybody defines this stuff differently, but on YouTube, that's possible. I've been working on this project, this company for a couple years now, but I do like no marketing. I've really been trying to get better. This is one of the ways I've been trying to. Hey, thanks, man. I've been trying to get better at this. Is one of the ways I'm trying to do it. And this is, I'm starting to realize that I am not awesome at multitasking. So, it is what it is, but I thought I was. Maybe. Sorry, is that not good? I was trying to hide it. Trying to be cognizant, that kind of stuff. I can escalate down next time I do it like this. Although now that I've told you that's what it will be, it won't be a surprise. It's the deep breaths. Interesting. Yeah, deep breaths make you feel good. Also, subs make you feel good, like roast beef subs. Very good for the soul. I could see that being the case. At least partially. Nicotine definitely is a stimulant. Like, you can feel it for sure. But I have seen stuff about how people don't breathe enough, and so that's an interesting possibility that they're just like tricking themselves into breathing more oxygen with vaping, and that's one of the reasons they like it. I've heard that there's like weird antagonistic neuron stuff happening. I don't understand how the word antagonistic could be a good thing when it comes to neurons, but the context of people who have said that made it seem like it was. So I don't understand. I gotcha. Yep. I picked up smoking cigarettes in college when I went and got my aerospace degree, and it was very stressful, and I started smoking cigarettes, and so that was the way I got off them. But what do you think of the fume? Nicotine until you reach Nick adulthood. Yeah, I think that's wise. Make sure they consent. Okay. I'm gonna try this now. I'm gonna put the encoder on. Yeah, what do you think of the new fume thing that everybody's talking about? It's supposed to be, it's like not vaping, it's just like scented fumes. I can't tell. I don't even know if there's any nicotine in that. I've just seen like a bunch of YouTubers doing ads on it. It's like the new hot sponsor if you're a YouTuber. Yeah, totally. I mean, to be fair, you can just escape social engagements if you want. I found that out. You can just be like, I need some fresh air. Although, I smoke a vape, so you know, it's not like I don't use that excuse as well. Okay, before we go too far, let's see if we're gonna get scraping. Oh, cool. Does that look cool yet? Here, I want to spin it again. Nope, doesn't look cool. Because there's no strobe light. Makes perfect sense. Oh, yeah, I can see that. Trying to like give them a heads up so then they don't feel like you're tricking them into being around cigarette smoke. So we're just gonna try and stuff all this stuff in here. Feels that I'm bumping into something. Jesus on top? Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't considered that. Wise words. Wise words. I disagree. Can't tell if you're trying to troll me or not. I'm afraid you found someone that will not be converted. I actually escaped that thought trap long ago. Okay, frickin' it. Okay, I believe you. It was deeply flawed. It was disingenuous and manipulative and based on ad hominem experience, and I can see the benefit if you go through a really bad tragedy in life and you need community, but that ain't for me, dude. Organized religion is definitely probably the worst aspect of it. Yeah. Mosquitoes is the least of his mistakes that I'll be questioning him on. We are all Christians. I am not. I am very, very adamantly not. I used to be, and then I moved on. I opened my eyes. I really don't want this to turn into any sort of theological discussion venue if possible. Okay, I'm not trying to convert you, man. I just would definitely appreciate the same in return. I appreciate it. Yo Huxtable. I hear that referenced a lot in comedy, but I don't actually think I know what it is. Yo Huxtable. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what it is either. Yeah, I think I've heard it in Scrubs, maybe. Bunch of references to it. Do you even know? Do you just pretend to know? Oh, okay. I don't think I've ever seen a full episode of The Cosby Show. Yeah. Clips here and there. It was a bit before my time. I was still watching like Rugrats, I think, when that was on. It was like an adult show. See ya. Thanks for hanging. I wonder if people still watch the Bill Cosby Show after the incidents. No idea. Cosby Show, man. Like it's the same. It's a similar question. I wonder if people still watch Game of Thrones after such like a public thing happened where the reputation of the show got kind of damaged. Because I mean, I'm sure you can go online and like watch it, but do people? And if so, I wonder if they have any feelings about it, like if they have to rationalize it to themselves or others, or if they just kind of do it because they grew up on it. I wonder. True. Very true. That's a good point. I think there's a lot of people that disagree about that last part though, right? Isn't that still like something a lot of people say didn't happen? Not to say that there's any credibility to them saying it didn't happen, but I don't know the history about that much. If there was like proof positive that he did it, or if it was ever kind of like in that gray murky area that gave some people like the diehard fans the wiggle room to play mental gymnastics and convince themselves it didn't happen. Right, about ready to test this bad boy out. Who says that besides like the officials? I don't think I've ever met somebody or even seen somebody online being like, come on guys, I think the evidence is clear that Epstein did kill himself. I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure everybody's pretty united on the fact that he definitely didn't. I don't know enough about that one either, honestly. I know he wrote a book basically saying that he did it, right? So yeah, I mean, Holocaust deniers exist, right? So I'm sure every possible variation of an idea or belief you could possibly imagine, somebody holds it to be truth, which is crazy to me, which is astounding. That's just such an overwhelming thing to think about. Just like randomize your belief settings and there's somebody who holds those beliefs. Like, what I always find interesting, I know some people who are into the conspiracy theories. I always like to kind of ask them which ones they believe in, because sometimes it is very much like they'll believe in some and not believe in others, that like the combination doesn't. Yeah, I think that's true. I think that's very true. Although there is something called Nobel syndrome. I believe it's called Nobel syndrome, which is when somebody who, I mean, in the instance of the person who they named it after, they won a Nobel Prize in their field and then kind of started to believe that they knew about every other field as well. I think that's a thing sometimes. You can be really smart, and if you have enough ego, you can also think you're really smart. But knowledge is compartmentalized. I don't think you can be smart in everything. That's pretty tough. I think as long as you got a good grip of critical thinking and you're able to like judge things that you're witnessing and perceiving and filter out some of the noise and make a relatively educated decision and and then not like stick to your guns so hard that new evidence doesn't budge you. I think that's kind of one of the most important types of intelligence, in my opinion. Okay. Ready to do the thing. It's gonna look weird on camera because it's a strobe light. But it should be relatively close to the camera's frame rate, so it should look kind of like how I'm seeing it. All right. There it is. Okay, ready? There it is. You can kind of see it. Yeah, I heard that too. That was a trip to me. That I remember seeing that happen in real time and not even knowing about the crazy like drone strikes usage statistics and being like, this kind of feels like a PR stunt. Like, the US definitely does weird shit militarily. Why would the US president get the Nobel Peace Prize? I think they were just trying to like positively reinforce the fact that the US elected a black president. Just slightly misguided. Man, I look like a villain with this shadow. All right, so we can change colors. So what's happening is it's frequency hopping sometimes. Like there's settings that allows it to do different strobe frequencies. And so this is relatively close to the camera's frame rate. Here, let me try and tune it a little bit better. There you go, that's slightly better. But then it looks like it's kind of moving a little faster. Yeah, it is what it is. No, that's sold separately, unfortunately. But it is definitely a compatible product. Yeah, so that's a cool one. Hold on, check this out. I got some different cool ones. Oh, I gotta take the support out real quick. This one is called Pentapod. Let's just fire it up. Thanks, man. Pretty cool too, man. Alright, here, I'll hold it at an angle so you can see it a little bit better. And then hopefully it slows down. Oh, interesting. It's like the RPM's kind of running away when I put it at an angle. I didn't know it did that. Kind of see what it is? It's like little tentacles. Like creepy little tentacles that are moving around and wiggling around. The cool one. And these things are really hypnotizing. I've seen them 1.5 billion times and I still get distracted. Yeah, that's... I mean, is there anything with tentacles that doesn't live in the ocean? There's a little question. There's the thinker. Yeah, I also make these. Here's one called Tentapod. No, the last one is Tentapod. This is called Filter Feeder. I have animations of these on my like online website that I think is linked to my Twitch account. This one is like undulating, almost like coral or anemones. Tentacles. Yeah, you're incorrigible. I love it. Tentacles. Reminds me of that Family Guy with Uncle Touchy's naked puzzle basement. That was a dark episode. Okay. Now. All right. So these take the longest to assemble because I didn't do as good of a job designing the circuit board to fit inside of it as I did with these. So these will take a lot less time. These ones practically fly together. They practically put themselves together. Also don't need to use the gloves at all anymore for this. I have my own website. They're pretty pricey, honestly. They cost at least $150 for me to make each one. So I'm designing right now. Here, I'll show you the prototype. It's the circuit board. This is the new circuit board for the motor controller that uses a different kind of motor called a BLDC. And I'm making an overhead lit variant. And the idea is to make it, my goal is to make it $150 or less to buy them. That's the goal. We'll see how close I get or if I can even come under. But the rule of thumb when you're making these things, from what I understand, is you're supposed to charge 3 times what it costs you to make it in order for you to be able to pay for your overhead, pay for all of your expenses and stuff like that. So if I'm going to aim for 150, I need to make it, 50, right? Yeah, 50 cost to us. So right now that costs 150, I need to make it 50. So that's a big reduction. It doesn't project the room. No, it is a contained illusion, but the new one is going to be overhead lit. So the current one, as you saw, is like, it's translucent plastic and it's lit from underneath. The new ones are going to be printed out of like white or maybe a colored plastic and lit from above. And there's a lot of like tricky design to stuff that I have to do to make that work, but I'm working on it. Plug it in. It gets, so the power, or the current one uses like a 12 volt barrel jack. Can you see that? Here, maybe on this one, which looks like this guy. My gosh, the lighting is not good. One of those. But the new one that I'm working on is going to be USB-C. So 5 volt. But, you know, if you wanted to bring this somewhere, you could like get a battery pack. I have a battery pack that outputs 12 volt barrel jack. The new one, of course, will be USB-C, which will be even easier to hook a battery up to. But putting batteries into stuff, like, I just make this in my workshop. No, but I have been asked to, and I have. Yeah, I definitely have signed them in the past. I don't know why that. I'm obviously not famous, but I'd be happy to. I can't remember what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, putting batteries into stuff is like really, really complex from a regulation standpoint. You can't ship stuff with batteries in it up in the air, like using planes and stuff. So it all has to be on the ground. And so what you could do is like design it to have battery bays and then just not include the batteries. That's one of the reasons they don't include batteries in a lot of stuff, is just because then you have to use ground freight, which is slower and more expensive and more logistically complicated. So I've just not really gone down that route. You know, maybe I'll add it in, but, and then you also have to like factor in the increased complexity of the battery bay. You know, you have to like have a place for the batteries to go in. And I also think you also have to do additional UL regulation stuff if you have batteries in there, and it's just a lot. Another illusion if you don't feel worthy yet. Yes. It is the illusion of my future notoriety. Inevitable. Completely inevitable. Could be. Could just be make these things and do a little streaming here and there. I'm not very good at like making video content and stuff, and I'm also not I'm not good at managing people. I feel guilty about being a boss type guy, and I've done it before, and it was very stressful, and I didn't feel comfortable in that role. So I don't know how I'm gonna deal with that, but I'm working on it, trying to maybe come up with a way I can do this at a larger scale without having to do that. Like having a manufacturing partner that does the assembly, and then what I could do to make that easier and more feasible for somebody without much, if any, financial resources like myself to pull off would be to design it in such a way that it's really easy to assemble. Yeah, that's true. I mean, my dad builds the wooden bases in his wood shop in Sedona. So like these are very much handmade. I think they're very nicely handmade. But yeah, I definitely don't love that we have to sell them for as much as we do right now, which is why I'm moonlighting as a electronics circuit board designer, which I definitely don't know how to do in order to get the new product out there. I do on request. I also hand write the date and the number, the strobe dock number of that day inside of there in each base. It's not a bad idea. Let me think on that. I kind of don't want to just start doing it without thinking about it, because like I've been trying to be consistent with how I make these, and if I just started doing that, I almost feel like I would have to announce it and like offer something to somebody, to the people who hadn't gotten it already. I don't know. I'll game it out and think about it, but it's not a bad idea. I appreciate it. I don't know. It feels presumptuous a little bit. I think that's what's made me feel uncomfy about it in the past. It feels like, I know you didn't ask for it, but here's my signature, kid. It's gonna be worth a lot of money someday. I don't know. It may not be rational, but that's the kind of stuff that goes on in my head. Back when I had a laser CNC machine before mine got left outside and rusted, I had some people ask for that, and then I engraved my signature onto the bottom with a laser. That was pretty neat. Yeah, that's true. We're also, yeah, we're also the only people who make these, like using this type of lit, like, what's it called? Like zoetrope-esque optical illusion. That's one of the nice things right now, is that it's like the only other person who does this sells them for like 10K, and he doesn't make a lot of them, and I hate the idea of doing that. So like, I'm on a quest to make this more accessible. Totally true. Yeah. How do usernames on Twitch work? Are you on? Oh no, you're on YouTube. Wait, so you have the handle OG on YouTube? Is that rare? Feels like a very rare handle. Or can you like pick it and then there can be multiple people with that name? All right, makes sense. Were you just like scrolling through reels and this came up? How'd you find this? I use YouTube Reels a lot. I didn't know you could just scroll through lives though. I should check that out. Is it just like one of the options on the homepage? I haven't seen that yet. Sometimes when I'm scrolling through Reels, it'll just like show me a live randomly, and I haven't figured out what criteria it's using to decide which lives to show me. Lately, it's been mostly like political live watch, live react stuff, and I do not stick around, but yeah, it's interesting. I'll check this out right now, actually. Said shorts. Oh yeah, I see that now. Crazy. That's funny. I just pulled up my own live. I mean, it makes sense. I probably follow my account from my personal account. Weird, man. Just shattered the fourth wall. That kind of freaked me out, honestly. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever had that experience where you like catch sight of yourself and for a split second your brain processes the image of yourself as somebody else and not your reflection. It's only happened to me like 3 or 4 times in my life. And it's like, I remember them vividly because I feel like they're the only times I've ever really seen what I look like from somebody else's perspective. And I had a little bit of that just then. Yeah, the other time I was in a Michael Keaton with the clones. Is that Body Snatchers? I didn't know Michael Keaton was in that. I haven't seen that in years. Yeah. Is the new Beetlejuice movie out? Wonder if it's gonna be good. I hope it is. I love that movie. Oh, you really can't see anything, can you? All right. Looking good. I've never even heard of that. Multiplicity. I mean, if it's got Michael Keaton in it, it can't be that bad, right? Michael Keaton is... I mean, I've only ever seen a couple of his movies, honestly. He could have bad movies. What do I know? He is pretty awesome, though. Okay, now I add a little zip tie in. Or a twisty tie. So it looks pretty. And then we get to test it. That's my most favorite part. Most favoritist part of all. Oops. But I didn't plug it in. I had some stuff wired wrong. Operation Board Game Buzz. What do you think of the text-to-speech stuff in some streams? I'm multi-streaming from Streamlabs to Twitch and YouTube, and I know that I can get stuff that allows text to speech. What's the vibe on that for you? I haven't really looked into it too much, but I've seen it, and now that I feel like I have kind of a stable sound system and setup and camera setup and stuff, I can start playing with features like that. But I don't know what the perception is. If it's very negative, then it's probably not worth it. People just like hate it. But it seems like it could be fun. You could just have it like blast some weird stuff to me. Probably have to set up some filters so that people didn't say alarming things. I could do an Operation Buzzer sound probably, or you could just type in zzz and have it say it. Yeah, I think that was my general understanding of it, was that it's mostly a troll thing. Yeah. Why we can't have nice things. I'm gonna see if I have any snippers. Yeah, you're probably right. People are dangerous when behind a wall of anonymity. Okay. Just buzz me. Like loud enough to scare me, you think? Or should I just like make it kind of loud and then ham it up? Be like, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I feel like I probably have the prowess to set up like a thing that shocks me, honestly. That would be hilarious. Like a wrist buzzer that just kind of, I mean, not like a full taser. More like one of those little hand buzzer things. Just like buzz me. That'd be fun. Yeah. Just like break a bunch of stuff. I just start tearing wires out because I'm convulsing. That would be good content though. Yeah, that would be good content. I feel like I'd have to come up with a way to prove to people that it was real, because the skeptics would have a field day. It'd be a conspiracy theory about me in no time. The electricity's fake. I don't know how I would demo. It's maybe with like a multimeter, like an analog multimeter in the background that just sent 110 volts of live alternating current straight to the nips. Okay, you're right. I'm getting carried away. I think I needed to hear that. I needed to have someone put the brakes on. I appreciate that. Okie dokie, let's test it. It works. All right, I'll show you another one that you've never seen. I don't think this one is anywhere. Maybe on some of our Instagram stuff. This one is called, I have a fun name for it. Oh yeah, I call it Containment Breach. Iron Man, what would I do? How would that work? What do you envision? There we go. Still spinning up. Takes a little while for the motor to get up to speed. Crazy? There we go. See that? It's like the little blobs are like reaching out of the shell. I don't know if you can see that very. Maybe able to turn up the brightness. Dude, I swear it's great for ADHD. I'm actually diagnosed. Probably not so relaxing to see this strobing on your screen, but I'm trying to keep it to a minimum. Ooh. Gosh. Nice magenta. Can you kind of see the... I'm trying to find a color that makes it look as similar on the screen as it is to my eyeballs here. There you go, you can kind of see it now. Right? They just kind of like peek out of their little cage windows. I love this one. It's like this thing is trying to get out and it's testing the sort of confines of its enclosure. So I call it Containment Breach. That one's a trip. I think I uploaded the STL for this on Thingiverse. I upload a lot of the sculptures onto Thingiverse for free. Here, I'll show you Filter Feeder. This is the anemone one. Anemone. Going a little too fast on screen. Yeah. You see it like kind of look like a sea anemone. It's like they're filter feeding. That's the intent. Things are awesome, man. I get such a kick out of them every time I turn them on. Yeah, they can be on the side totally, like if you wanted to like mount it to something. Probably have to figure out, you probably like screw holes in the base or something, and or maybe put like nail holes and then like hang it on the wall. There's no problem with that. It just, when I tip it up, it like kind of speeds up the motor rotation for a minute, or maybe it slows down, and then I have to hold it pretty steady, like not let my hand wiggle while it's stabilizing. But you can totally mount it vertical. The snap mount is definitely strong enough. Check it, like. There. Just turn it on upside down. I don't know if I've done it upside down. It's not going to look good on this camera, unfortunately. I don't think I have the FPS set to 40. I mean, I probably have it set to something, though. I bet I could get there. Okay, that's kind of close. Further. I'm just looking on my monitor and watching the strobe lines, trying to make the strobe line go away. My exposure settings might be bust. Yeah, those are good spots. The way it's kind of intended to set them up, like the way I've made it easy to set up, is with just put it on a surface. Just basically set it down. There's like rubber feet on there. There's 3 rubber feet. That means there's never a low spot, so it will never tip. It always is, like, you know, tripods are inherently stable, and so if you set it on any surface, just don't set it on cloth. I found out that if you put it on cloth, it'll vibrate. It took me a while to figure out that that was what was happening, but eventually I figured it out. And then they come with a dome, like a glass and copper dome. Why isn't this showing any? Oh, there we go. This is a dirty dome. Like spots on it and stuff, but yeah, that's what it looks like. And then a knob, a nice knob. Rather handsome, I think. All right. Ooh. So what I gotta do right now is I gotta balance some sculptures. I have some sculpture orders, so I'll do that. And then you can also, if you please, if you would like, watch the fun sculpture show. Yeah. We also have acrylic domes that are a little bit more scratch resistant. Don't get smudged as much. Yeah, the domes I actually don't make myself. They're way too hard to get right. There's a local company called Epic Manufacturing. I live in Phoenix, and it's like a small fab, like a mom and pop fab shop. And they do our domes, and they're really, really good, but pricey. What are you gonna do? You want good quality stuff? What's nice is that they're close enough that I just drive my truck over there and load it into my little Chevy Colorado mini truck bed, and I don't have to do shipping. I don't have to like freight it overseas and stuff. So that's nice. Most of my suppliers are in the valley near me. So I usually can just drive over and pick it up. Yeah. Nope. Dome ain't cheap. Good dome ain't cheap. I don't know why you didn't leave your username as what it was before. I feel like it's hilarious and apt. But entertaining. But entertaining. Okay. All right, this one is called Hypercubes. Got an order for this bad boy, and I balance all these sculptures before I send them out. And what that just means is they come off the 3D printer like balanced, but tiny little imperfections in the print, like around the snap ring area, will cause a visible wobble. And I've been looking at these things long enough that I can tell when it's wobbling, and it drives me crazy. When it's like perfectly buttery smooth, it feels good to look at. But if it's a little bit wobbly, it kind of makes you feel like you're gonna get a headache. So I make sure to make them all perfect. Let's get the lights down. I don't know if you'll be able to tell on the camera if it's wobbling. Hypercubes is what he calls his rock. Is there a cubes thing with that whole drama cycle? Hypercubes. Was he smoking bismuth? Smoking bismuth crystals? That's something I want to do. I want to make bismuth crystals. I want to grow some of those. Those are cool. All right. So I did a little bit of shaving it down with a router bit. Cut squares. Today I learned TIL. I did not know that. Is that just what they call it, or is it actually a square? Oh, maybe I've seen that. Yeah, it's like a little square baggie. Okay. Man, that's embarrassing for me. I gotta up my street knowledge. The heck am I doing? Watching too many videos about bismuth crystals is what I'm doing. Wasting away. Ooh, that made it way worse. For some reason, these hypercubes, like specifically, print kind of wobbly a lot of this time. Oh, word. And a bookie? I feel like that's a pretty old-timey word. They still call them bookies? I mean, I didn't know that crack was sold in squares, so probably shouldn't trust my knowledge on this topic. Definitely shouldn't trust my knowledge on this topic. Hell yeah, dude. That's what's up. That's probably why we get along. I definitely have a hard time speaking the new words. All these conflabbit new words coming out. Skibbity toilet and whatnot. I still don't know what that means. I like the way it sounds though. Got a nice ring to it. It's not just the size of the bag that they're put in, it's like, I mean, I've seen a documentary about how, like, it's made in, is it Colombia or maybe Guatemala and Nicaragua, and it's they use like gasoline as a part of the distillation process, and then they pour the slurry onto sheets of like maybe banana leaves or some other similar looking leaf, let it kind of dry into caked patties in the sun, and then they segment it. So maybe that's it. So it's like a cake though, right? It's like a single patty, like a square shaped, I don't know, like if you were to like let like a slurry of something dry and then like the stuff left behind, like that's what they cut into squares, right? Or are you talking about like the powder? I know it's probably not the right word for it, but it's the only word that I can think of to describe what I'm imagining. Like a hamburger patty, right? Like a double cheeseburger. Like a triple bacon burger. Oop, this one's closer. Kind of gave up on that first one. I felt like I was making it worse. I don't know what it is, but something about these dang hypercubes has gone weird in the process, and like every third one just, I cannot get it aligned. It drives me crazy. Oh, it's that small? Okay. That's probably why the word patty was not applicable. Maybe I'm thinking of like bags of cocaine in the TV shows where they're like, throw it on a table and it's like this big. I think that's probably what I'm imagining, and I'm having a hard time not imagining, but making it sound like it's way smaller. Like a chiclet gum. An expensive piece of gum. Yeah. All right, that's closer. How did we start talking about this? Oh yeah, you said hypercubes. Yeah, okay. All right. Thanks for giving me the context necessary to appreciate your joke. I think that's a good one. Hypercubes. Oh, dang. That sounds like a good opportunity to learn about this stuff. Appreciate you teaching me about this stuff. I don't know how I would have learned, honestly. Never really felt like I had occasion to ask. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this knowledge. Now I know. Better to have the knowledge and not need it than need it and not have it. Assuming I can remember it. That's the next trick, isn't it? Okay, you dumb sculpture. Do the job. Ooh. Oh, so close. Burrow, so does that... Projects is a suburb of New York, right? If I'm not mistaken. I've never been to New York at all. Heard of the projects. I wasn't sure if it was just like a general designation for an area of like a certain reputation, or if it was like a physical location. But I think it's the latter, right? Like there's a place in New York called the Projects. Okay, so it's just kind of a general designation, not specific to an area. Bird. Crack capital. Sounds like it might not be sort of a super duper non-scary place to grow up. Imagine there's some scary stuff happening around you. I grew up in Sedona, Arizona, which was the hippie and crystal capital of the world. Very different. Very different. Jeez. That's intense, dude. 100? My God. I got in 2 fights growing up. Ever. Does not sound... Sounds scary and stressful as heck. I don't know how I would have fared in that circumstance, man. Hopefully it didn't turn you too bitter, but I really can't make any judgment about your circumstances. I remember being very stressed out about the fights I was in. Dang! 4 times? all at once, or were they spread out? Yeah, you can kind of tell that it's perfectly balanced now. Maybe. Yeah, I'm fully zoomed in. Yeah, I got it real nice. Oh. Good. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like getting stabbed a bunch would turn anyone into an introvert. I think that's a fair response. I can't blame you. Dang, man. Yeah, that one's cool. That one's a real cool one. It takes so long to print, though. Like 30 hours of print. Let's see what other sculptures I need to make. Bear sculpture. Yeah, the fight I got in was at the skate park because some kid took my skateboard and chucked it. Pretend to be suburban. Right on. It's all a ruse, though. Feels like it's is it imposter syndrome when it comes to that? Genuinely asking. Yeah, this kid threw my skateboard into another area of the skate park, and he had been doing stuff like that to me, and I bum rushed him and punched each other a couple of times. That was my fight. That's my fight story. Pretty tame. Yeah. I mean, is it enjoyable though? Or does it feel like you're not digging it? Like you want to like maybe be in a more rural area, maybe a farm type situation? That one's perfect. Like a small Swiss Alps cabin with a herd of milk producing cows, the little cowbells tingling around on the hillside outside. Oh yeah. Writing jokes? What kind of stuff do you do for writing? Like personal stuff, or is it like professionally? Radio show for 2 years and you sell jokes to comedians. I did not know that was a thing. And you do stand up? Hell yeah. That's cool, man. I like that. Where do you, is there like some sort of joke market? Where the heck does that happen? Where do you find buyers and sellers for jokes? Or do you just have homies and you like send them some ideas you've been kicking around? Ah! Accidentally Definitely got myself. I didn't know that. Is that a secret? Uh-oh, are you spilling the beans? Gonna have to scrub this. Gonna have to delete the VOD. Well, I don't know how to do that, but we should. I didn't know that, honestly. I mean, I know about, like, you know, the writers for comedy shows and stuff, but for stand-up, you're saying stand-up comedians have, like, writers? Ooh, that's a good one. I feel like you can see that really well on camera. Yeah, I'm just gonna... Oh, nice. Are you alluding to people that you've worked with? Sorry about the strobe banding. It just, the illusion's a lot better at this speed. It's a good one. You saying Chris Rock? Are you like hint nudge nudging? You sweet. Or are you not allowed to say? If you tell me, do you have to kill me? Ooh, there's a good one. So it is slightly, what is it, taboo? This is a good one. I like this one a lot. I could watch this for hours. That's cool. That's cool as heck, man. Kudos to you for finding something like that you can do professionally. I absolutely understand the desire to do something interesting professionally. 5 to 10. How do you define a joke? I feel like a lot of modern comedy is kind of just riffing. Like it's a train of thought. How do you like wrap a bow on it and say that's one? I mean, you would have to, right? You'd have to like segment it and parcel it up so that you can delineate it from, you know, a perspective of delivering a product, but I don't know how you would do that. Pick a topic. How about I can't even do this, dude. I can't even do this. This is too much pressure. How broad? Animals. Endangered species. Is that too hard? I don't want to seem difficult. Endangered species. If you could pull that off, man, I'll subscribe to your newsletter. All right, this might be annoying and loud. I gotta do it for like 1 minute. Here, let me turn the lights on so I stop looking like some sort of like true crime confessional close-up. Too bright. See all my pores. Alright, are we better? Yeah, I think we're... Alright. A little gain knob on here. Alright, I think that's good, right? Alright. Culture's 10 premises already. Do it. The darker the better. I mean, not so dark that I have to like delete the video, but I guess that's sort of the only guideline if I could recommend one thing. So dark they instantly banned him. Being me. A bannee. For creating a culture of violent speech against endangered species. Can't have that. I bet. Alright, I got one more thing to do and then I'm gonna have to wrap it up. Okay, so with each strobe dock, I include white gloves. This little thing to include so that people feel like, oh wow, this is a nice piece of art. And to make them look nice, you do this. A little bit, do a little bow on it. I'm gonna tie one off. Tie one off. I'll get the length. And then I'll cut a bunch of pieces of the correct length. Oh, I think I nailed it first try. Oh! Witness me! Yeah. Okay. Copy paste this. How many times? 15 times, 30 pieces. And I'll do half of them in this color and half in cyan. Magenta and cyan. I've been really digging them. Digging magenta and cyan for a couple of years. Is this magenta? This might just be purple. I think it might just be. Magenta sounds fancier though, so maybe I'm gonna put a little marketing spin on it and say it's magenta. I've been buying used dryers from the local meth head scrap metal guy and sending them around my neighborhood now. Saying stuck stepmoms? Oh god, like stuck in the dryer. I can definitely see how your time in the projects may have inspired your comedy. Because that was dork. I like it. Just writing jokes. Just crafting them. Pulling them from the ether. Immortalizing them. Yeah. It took me a second, but I figured that's what it was about. I don't think it's just stepmoms. I think it's sort of family members. For some reason, family members have a hard time resisting the urge of taboo desires and reaching into appliances. It must be a common occurrence, common enough that it became sort of trained in that particular form of media. Gotta be based on something. No smoke without fire, that's all I'm saying. I feel like we gotta start getting these washer and dryer manufacturers to put in sort of an emergency escape button. This is getting ridiculous. I would love to see that GE commercial back. Like, how many times has this happened to you? Well, no more. What I'm doing if it looks like I'm doing weird stuff off screen. I'll do the stuff on screen. Yeah. I And definitely avoid using the steps when an escalator is available, so you might be onto something. There's a period of time where I avoided escalators after I saw a live leak video of the top falling off one and somebody getting inced. Haunting. You did complete the task though. You wrote a joke about endangered species. Mission accomplished. 5 stars. Get 100 EXP. Why am I putting this on? Just be tying it up. How about space travel? Space exploration. Because I'm a space nerd. You're gonna be so nice. I've never had anybody comment on the fact that I include these. I wonder if it's appreciated or used, or if I'm just making myself feel better. Sex fun investigation. I don't get that one. Turn sex fun. Like his whole weird thing about how he wants to repopulate the Earth, or he thinks Earth's underpopulated. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he turned the fun thing into work. Yeah. There's a reason I'm not multi-streaming to Twitch, I'll just say that. SpaceX is sick though. I mean, I have a couple of friends who work there. So it's like current events. You kind of wrap into this, into your. I mean that makes sense. That's probably the way to make.